Well, kia ora and welcome everyone back to the 2020 Athletics New Zealand Cross Country Challenge here in Dunedin at the Chisholm Links course. This beautiful golf course right on the coast in Dunedin. And here we have the schedule. We've done those first three events. Now we move into the under 16 girls and boys 4K. That's coming up at 10 past 1. And then it's the big one, 2:05 p.m. The senior men and senior women will take on 10,000 metres around this challenging course. Good amount of undulations, some sharp, tricky hills to run down, a lot of grindy hills to go up. As you can see, the spectators enjoying the sun. Now, the change from this morning, temperatures are good, especially for the middle of winter. This is a great day. But as you can see there, the trees just blowing a bit. I went to have my lunch outside in the sunshine, but the wind was actually too strong, so I came inside. Now, so that's going to be a factor, and I do wonder how tactical that senior race in particular will become, as we see people just trying to hide out from the wind. So everyone's warming up as we speak for the under 16s in the cross country challenge. So why is it not called the cross country championships? Well, that's because we don't have Auckland, and we need Auckland to make it a championship. So big shout out to those Aucklanders who are watching this from home. We miss you guys and girls, and I'm sure you'll be able to join us next year. So the title has been downgraded to a championship. And so here's a view of Ollie Chignell and Rebecca Green, who will both be lining up in the senior races at 2:05, running around the course. So this will give you an idea of the sort of terrain and scenery that they're going to be enjoying out there on the course. So there's a bit of a grind uphill for the first 500 metres, and essentially you can see that the course there is like two butterfly wings. So each of those is a kilometre long, and essentially the first half of each of those wings is uphill, and the second half is downhill. So nice downhill return back to the club rooms here at the golf course. So as they swing around the top end of that butterfly wing, and just up ahead where those trees are is a very sharp descent. Now that's the tricky section of the course. Now we're back onto about the middle of the course, so as they come past the club rooms there, you'll be at halfway. So that's 1,000 metres in, and then you swing into the gradual uphills that take you to the top end of that other butterfly wing. So these two on screen, Ollie Chignell and Rebecca Green, will certainly be looking to feature prominently in those senior races. Rebecca Green, I believe, was second last year. I'm just looking through my notes at the National Cross Country Champs up in Wellington. She was third last year and the year before, so we'll see if she can go one better. She won the senior women's 5,000 metres, so she's the current 5,000 metre national champion. So let's see if she can get another gold medal to her year. And welcoming back into the studio with me, my name is Hayden Sherman, and joined with me is Jason Cameron, who's no stranger to the world of cross-country running. So welcome back from your lunch, which I can see remains uneaten.
Yeah, great to be here, Hayden, and I've just been having a chat with some of these amazing volunteers from Athletics Otago, and they assure me that we have weather like this every day, and for every big cross-country meet that is hosted in Otago. But yeah, it's been a sensational day here at Chisholm Links.
Yeah, I've got a big shout out to Dunedin, because we had...
Look at that. I mean, it's a majestic view, isn't it? Look at those rolling breakers. And
beautiful. And the day is actually not too dissimilar to what we saw on screen. We've got blue skies. There's our athletes lining up in the men's and women's under 16. And very excited to see how this one unravels. So there's your start list. So girls under 16, Kimberly Everson from Southland, Georgie Rose Boyd of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Renee Carey of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Maya Edmondson of Canterbury, Zara Geddes of Otago, Nicole Green of Southland, Catherine Lund of Otago, Lucy McLean of Manawatu Wanganui, Niam Motley of Canterbury, Brady Ristio of Canterbury, Anya Rhodes of Otago, Marissa Shannon of Canterbury, Anna Carswell of Otago, Samantha Fuchs of Southland, Edie Kosniak of Wellington, and Maddie Sharp of Canterbury, Eliza Squire of Wellington, Phoebe Squire of Wellington, Maya Wilkinson of Wellington, and Gracie Young of Otago.
And we don't have Bella Earl here this year, so she wasn't able to come down from Whangarei. So she was the defending champion from the under-16 girls from Wellington last year.
So the boys, Archie Jones from Canterbury, Zach O'Dwyer from Auckland, Matthew Bolter, Otago, Fons Carroll from Canterbury, Thomas Collard of Southland, Ethan Friend of Southland, Luke Johnston of Canterbury, Charlie Light of Otago, James McLeay of Southland, Daniel Prescott, Canterbury, Pi Wynyard, Canterbury, Ben Avery, Canterbury, Finn Allett of Canterbury, Nicholas Alvarez Ray Vereg. I think there's some more to his name that we're not seeing on screen from Otago. Atlas Kerr of Southland, Liam O'Donnell of Canterbury, Jake Owen of Otago, Hayden Waddle of Waikato Bay of Plenty. And here they are lining up in the men and women under 16, coming from all around the country, except Auckland, of course, to take part in this 4,000 metres cross-country challenge in the warm sunshine. And as I was mentioning before you came back into the studio, that wind's picked up out there, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. It's similar to the conditions that they had the Otago champs a couple of weeks ago, apparently now. So, yeah, it is a little exposed out there in some areas of the course, but and there are some sheltered parts as well, but just another thing for the athletes to factor into their strategy today. Well, nearly a fall there from one of the athletes, but they're away and racing.
And as always with a under-16 race, racing very hard right from the start. So great to see out of the blocks nice and quick. So once again, we've got men and women joined up in the same race, which I think, if anything, well, we mentioned before, it can be a good thing or a bad thing for the females in the race. A, you've got some company. You've got someone to chase. But B, you can get pulled away into these fast starts. You can see almost exactly the boys are splitting up from the girls, and I'm sure a lot of those girls are going to run down those boys later in the race. So they're going to disappear up onto that hill there for the first 500 metres of the course. It's basically uphill, a gradual or increasing gradient as they go up, and then they'll come back down 500 metres down to the clubhouse here at Chisholm Links, and then go out on in the other half of the course. Once again, 500 metres up, 500 metres down, roughly, with a few little undulations on the way. So a nice, challenging, interesting course, making sure that you don't get bored out there.
Yeah, nice little two-lapper. And, yeah, the thing I love about watching this age group run cross-country is that there's just no fear of the pain barrier, and you can see the pace that race has started at. No holds barred here, and it's going to be great to see some of these young athletes coming down through this section that we've dubbed the chute, or something similar to that, Hayden, that steep decline there after about 700-800 metres, and you really have to be watching your footing. It's not too slippery, but just maintaining contact and keeping the rhythm going.
So we've got a group of 11 runners there at the front. So we've seen this a bit today from the boys especially. We saw it before in the under-20s race, and also the under-18s, just these groups forming at the front of the race. So no one keen to take it out hard from the start, and that's probably a bit of respect to the competition, a bit of respect for the course, and just acknowledging, look, it's going to get tough in this race, and I don't want to go too hard and burn all my matches early. So just size out your competition, and then maybe make your move in the midway stages.
Ben Airy from the Selwyn Athletic Club in Canterbury. He's a triathlete from Christchurch, so he's leading the under-16 boys at the moment. And just out of camera shot at the moment, the leading girl is Renee Carey from the Tauranga Ramblers Club in the Waikato, and she recently finished second in the Waikato Champs. You can see her just in the green singlet there, not too far behind the boys. So Number 340 there is Hayden Waddell out of the Hamilton City Hawks Club. But it's still very bunched, and we'd expect these athletes just to, now that the pace has settled down, they've got through that furious first 500 metres or so and just settling into a nice rhythm here as we see the boys heading up towards the top of the course.
Yeah, and a little bit of stretching out of that pack as they've passed through 1,000 metres, so maybe that top 5 just pulling away. So we come back to some of the girls made it safely down that hill, and when I first saw that hill I just saw myself going head over heels, so thankfully I'm not in the race. We haven't actually seen anyone bail on that one, which is slightly disappointing in some respects, slightly comforting in other respects. So here they go onto the other side of the course. So this is 2 laps of 2,000 metres. So they've all just gone through 1,000 metres there. Tick over 4-minute Ks for those ladies. And so we've got 4 runners up the front of the boys' race. There it is. So they've peeled off. It started at 6. It's now down to just 4 of them.
Radio, the 45 to 49 age group. David Fitch, Blair Martin, Andrew Loney, please.
As you can see there, just going up towards the top of the course. A little bit of a pinch of a climb. You can see there, just get those arms going. And it's one of those techniques when you've got there's kind of 2 types of hills on a cross-country course, the long grinds and then those short little punchy ones, and you actually want to drive pretty hard.
Yeah,
them,
you've got
you?
to, I think, well, the best way is the most efficient way is to shorten the levers and really get some cadence going and pump the arms, because you know that it's just a short, sharp incline and then level out onto the next part of the course.
And so a lot of these athletes that have been competing today will have plans specifically for cross-country, you know, throwing in little surges, throwing in little hill bursts into their sort of fartlek training. And so it all comes into it, so you can afford to just go a little bit deeper up those hills and make sure you're not losing ground on your competitors. And also maintain that ceiling, so you've got that speed to really hammer the downhills as well. So these 4 leading the way in the boys under 16, 4,000 metres. So they've probably got about 300 metres left to run on this first lap of 2.
And young Hayden Waddell there from the Hamilton City Hawks Club there, just having a look at his fellow competitors there. And there's Renee Carey. She's currently leading the under 16 girls. Nice relaxed running style there. And she's been one of the standout performers in that age group in the last year or so.
So here they come. So Ben Airy, he's been doing a lot of the early leading. He's leading the way with Hayden Waddell just behind him. And then Paul Wynyard in the blue there.
And Pai is first year belonging to an athletics club and a mighty club, Papanui Tokach in Christchurch. It's got a long legacy of middle and long distance running.
So Renee Carey looking poised. So she will have cast her eyes up and seen the start-finish area, which means she's almost at the halfway mark, which is always a good mental barrier. Once you're past that halfway mark, you know you can just put your foot down and go a little harder, because most of the work is behind you. So speaking of behind you, these 4 have passed that halfway mark, I believe, which means their pace has been pretty honest. If they've gone through in yeah, so we can confirm that that clock is sort of a minute 30 behind. So I was thinking that they went under 3 minutes per K, which would be very quick on this course. But it is, I think that's the second group on the course at the moment that we can see there. Near Motley. Looking nice
The
and
daughter
strong.
of Craig Motley there, one of the leading Canterbury coaches based in Timaru.
And also tucked in there was Pi Wynyard. And the leading girls at the stage with number 304. Number 304 was Renee Carey of the Waikato Bay Athletics. Sarah Geddes from Otago was lying in second place.
So the penultimate race of the day, we're building to the big one, the senior men's and senior women's, and here we have the young generation out here having their, in many cases, their first experience of a big cross-country meet at this level. And as we look to the front of the pack there, we see that Hayden Waddell there, the son of the great Rob Waddell and Sonia. He's up in the front there with Pi Wynyard. So, and Rob has been a great visionary with this Sky Sport Next initiative, bringing these live pictures to you today and giving these young athletes an opportunity to be on the stage and aspire to the future and become better athletes. So fantastic opportunity for these young runners today.
Yeah, so they've got about 1,300 metres to go. Last time coming down the steep hill, here we go. Hayden Waddell neck and neck with Pi Wynyard. As they go, can they make it down safely? They do. Good control, boys. Good work. And they're going to come past that start-finish line there. As you can see, Liam O'Donnell and Ben Airy just in the background in the third and fourth places. They want to just keep an eye on their shoulder because there's a couple of athletes behind them who are looking pretty strong. So 1,000 metres left for these two to run. They're going to be battling it out for that gold medal position. Let's see who is strongest over this climb.
It's going to be an exciting finish, and I think Mum Sonia is on the course today watching her son, and Rob's back in Cambridge, so they'll both be really excited for the opportunity for young Hayden today, and he's matching it stride for stride with Pi Wynyard at the moment, and they're heading up to the top end of the course. We're in for a grand finish here, I think.
Absolutely, it's going to be really interesting how this unfolds. So Renee Carey still in first place.
She's got a bit of company though, number 306.
Zara Geddes, yeah. So Zara Geddes has made a good, strong last 1,000 metres to just inch her way up towards Renee Carey's, well, not on her shoulder, but pretty close to it. If anything, I think Renee's just slowing up a bit. She needs to look to that junior boy and just
right
stick
there
on his shoulder if he comes past. But Zara Geddes, what a fantastic last 1,000 metres. She's looking strong too. So this is going to be a good little battle for first place in the women's race.
Yeah, and she's got quite a diverse background as Zara. She's doing in a number of different sports, including aerobics and equestrian these days. But she loves cross-country, and the hills are her favourite thing, as we see Hayden and Pi heading up to the top end of the course. There's that short little pinch there, and they're still running side by side.
Yeah, no move. So that's often a place where you'll see someone put in a move at the top of a climb. So if you can make the most of those last few metres up the climb and then pull away, and it's really a psychological challenge to see your competitor disappear with good leg speed over the top of a hill. So they didn't do that. They've stuck together, and this is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds in this last 500 metres.
Yeah, they're going to come back into camera shot very shortly.
Yeah,
they're
they come
still together.
Still neck and neck. So it's Pi and Hayden. Hayden Waddell, Pi Wynyard. What's going to happen with these two? They have been together the whole race. We had a good pack of about 6 or 7 runners early on that just slowly got whittled away down to 4.
And here's the last hill here. Hayden putting a bit of pressure on.
Yeah, it's tricky to say who looks the freshest, but here we go. Pi just gritting his teeth, getting back on track. So these two, it's definitely going to come down to the last few hundred metres.
So long loping stride of Hayden, and Pye's got a more of a sharp, punchy sort of style. And what have we got in store here? The last 200 metres as the pace goes on.
This is just going to be
Hayden's lengthening it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of who wants it the most here. You can
he's
see
digging
Hayden
deep.
just gritting his teeth, and he's really put his foot down. That's quite a kick. He's made up some ground, but Pye's still
It's
holding
not over.
strong. Let's see if he's timed it right. Has Hayden gone too early? It's difficult to see from this camera angle. Pye's still there. Hayden's having to look over his shoulder. Who's it going to be? Waddell or Wynyard? Waddell's got
It's
it at
all
the
on.
moment. Hayden's pulling away. Pye's coming in strong, driving
Down
those
to the
arms.
line.
Who's it going to
Could be a dead heat.
Dropping at the line, I think it's Pye.
Pye Wynyard's just got it on the line from Hayden Waddell. What a race.
What a brilliant finish. Wow, I thought Pye was gone. Hayden probably just went a little bit early. When he watches the replay of this, he'll be kicking himself. But here, coming into third place is this Liam O'Donnell. No, it's, we've had some changes back in the pack.
And who is that? That is James McClay from St Paul's Athletic in Southland.
Great race there from James to come through.
3-3-4, our early leader there.
Ben Airy having to settle for fourth, just picked out of the medals. Liam O'Donnell coming through for fifth. So these were those top six runners.
And Luke Johnston from Selwyn and Christchurch, 3-3-9, coming across the line. Jake Owen from Hill City and Otago. They'll all be inside the top 10, and we're waiting for our first girl under 16, and we see Renee Carey there. Is she still in front? As we see the boys coming in as well.
Looks like Renee is in the lead at the moment, and we haven't seen any sign of Zara behind her, who was closing. So these under 16 boys just finishing off their event. But at the moment, it's all about Renee Carey, who's ran a fantastic front-running display over this 4,000 metre course.
She's naturally a front runner. That's the way she likes to run her races back at home in Tauranga. She looks like she's just going to hold off Zara. Not far behind. She has a wee glance behind Renee, and she's going to take out the girls under 16 NZ Cross Country Challenge for 2020.
And here comes Zara Geddes after a really strong middle stage to the race. She didn't quite have it to pull in the fast finishing Renee, and you can see how much she had to hurt to do this. And is that 3?
We have Maya Wilkinson, is it? No.
Eliza Squire.
Eliza Squire.
From Wellington Harriers. So good run from her, picking up the bronze medal. And as we mentioned before,
another tight finish there.
Yeah, brilliant finishing. And here we've got fourth place for the women. Maddie Sharp coming in. Good, solid run from Maddie. You can see how hard this course is. You're definitely
giving it everything, these young athletes.
Yeah, finishing that 4,000 metres, feeling like you can't run another metre. And that's the goal, really, to be the tank at zero at 4,001 metres. And hoping they don't get the measurement wrong.
308 there, Catherine Lunn from Ariki, the home centre, Otago, well represented today. And
Lucy
309
McLean from Fielding Harriers. Quite a few representatives out of Fielding, good to see.
And there's Kimberly Iverson from Athletics Invercargill, finishing her race.
Anna Carswell coming in to finish her 4,000 metres around this beautiful Chisholm Links course.
And Samantha Fuchs from Queenstown, and we had 110 there.
This is the team's medals for the masters from 35 through to 49 age group.
Yeah, so we're in beautiful sunshine here in Dunedin. It is the end of winter. You wouldn't know it though, because it's nice and balmy, mid-teens conditions.
And that
feeling
was
like spring is on the way.
Letitia Hay, who just finished before from Hamilton City Hawks.
And Nia Motley coming in to finish off her event. So you can see those flags are getting blown around. Now that means the wind is picking up ahead of the big race today, which is your senior men's, senior women's, and man, we have some talent lining up in both of those races. It's going to be a exciting one. That will kick off at 2:05. So if you want to make sure that your friends, family, club mates, maybe friends overseas, send them the link. Hit that share button, because there will be a lot of people who want to watch and see who can win this, not national title, but the crown for the New Zealand Cross Country Challenge. Almost a championship.
And we see some of those teams' medals being given out, and that is a big part of this event as well. Not only the individual titles, but every place counts out there today.
That was a South Island clean sweep, by the way. Well done, South Islanders. Southland in third. Was it Canterbury second and Otago first? So
the mainlanders, they love their traditional cross-country courses.
And a big shout out, of course, to all those Aucklanders. I know how frustrating it is to be stuck in your region in level 3. It would have been great to have you here, but
and hopefully we'll be coming up to see you on the 7th of November when the New Zealand Road Championships will be hosted for the second year at Bruce Pullman Park out there in is it Pakudanga? Is it? Papakura.
I think it's Papakura. I lived in Auckland, I should know these things.
So did I. And so yeah, we really hope that our Auckland athletes can be a big part of the remainder of the season.
So the forecast today was full wind as Marissa Shannon just crosses the line. Well done, Marissa. Job done. Another race in the bank. So that wind has really picked up. We're expecting gusty winds. The morning was perfect. It was still, it was sunny, very pleasant conditions. Now we've just added some wind to the mix, so it's a strong wind out of the westerly direction, which you'll feel it on, particularly on that home straight. Probably that 200 metres as you're coming into that finishing chute, that you can see the wind will be right in your face. Tactics, Jason Cameron, do you think that'll play into it at all?
Well, I think, we're going into the long races now for the women and the men. So 10,000 metres, 5 laps. So it really is, going to be important to pace your performance out there today, and to take into consideration all of those factors, the elevation on each lap. So it's just under 30 metres each lap, and there's a lot of rolling ups and downs. The wind to contend with your fellow competitors, so it's going to take the complete race today to win these titles. And look, I look at the fields for particularly the men, but also the women. We've got some great talent out there, and arguably in the men's field, probably one of the strongest fields we've seen in a number of years with some of the athletes.
So just a shout out to Nicole Green there coming in, finishing off her event. First ever National Cross Country Championship / Challenge. So well done, Nicole. So yeah, should we start talking through some of these highlights to look out for?
Yeah, we've got 290 athletes from around New Zealand today, folks. So, it's been a great turnout so far, and that's across all the grades. It's been quite a year we've had, and this really is the pinnacle of the cross-country season. It's been fantastic to see this event so well supported under the circumstances. So,
yeah, this event was rescheduled already, so it had already been postponed once. So it was one of those challenges, wasn't it? The organising committee, it was you couldn't win either way. It would have been great to see if we could postpone it again, but there's only so much reshuffling you can do in the calendar, and I'm just stoked that we have some racing to go with. Finally, we're back to it.
Yeah, look, I heard Craig Kirkwood, who's one of the leading coaches Craig Kirkwood is the coach of Hayden Wild and Sam Tanner, and he said to me a couple of weeks ago, look, we don't know what the status of the race is, but it's the big one for the season, and you know we're going to be out there. We're going to support this race. It's the highlight of the season, and we're going to be there. So, you know, it's going to be awesome to see the likes of Hayden Wild and Ollie Chignall and Sam Tanner out there mixing it with the ladies, Cara McDermott, Sabrina Grogan, and a host of other women who've come to support this event down in the mainland. We've got Rebecca Green, the local hope from Otago, and Eva Goodison, a Kiwi out of the Hawke's Bay, on a scholarship at the University of California. So there's some great talent there today, and we're looking forward to this final race of the day.
Second fastest time was by Peter Stevens from Wellington, 31:43. And the fastest overall time, Richard Bennett from Canterbury, 31 minutes. And if those Canterbury people don't go away, because we do have in the
And just recapping this amazing finish, definitely the closest finish of the day. Pye Wynyard and Hayden Waddell, look at that. Hard to separate them over that finish line, but it looks unofficially at this stage like Pye might have got the win there, but so close. Such determination
Canterbury is made up of Richard Bennett,
from these young athletes from Papanui Tokach and Christchurch and Hamilton Hawks in Hamilton. And an amazing way to show our young athletes giving it their all for their clubs and centres out there in this New Zealand Cross Country Challenge today.
You're still on two. Okay.
Ray Knox, are you around, please? All right, women's combined business, 50 to 64 age group. The team coming home in second place was the team from Otago, which consisted of Jeff Anderson, Steve Bloomfield, Richard Fogarty, and Ray Knox. And the winning team was the team from Canterbury, with a total of 13 points. And that team consists of Richard Bennett, Robert Hull, Jason Bailey, and John Marshall.
Until the end.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And have you been doing sort of this sort of training through the winter? Like,
yeah,
have you been getting out onto the hills?
Yeah, a lot on the hills, the Port Hills and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And what's next for you? You're All right, so with us here is Pi Wynyard, so the champion for the under-16 boys. First of all, congratulations, and how did it feel out there?
Oh, thank you. It was hard the whole way, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good challenge.
Yeah, so you had a good group for that first lap, and then sort of one by one, guys started dropping off till there's just the two of you. What were your sort of thoughts with kind of 1K to go, you're neck and neck with Hayden Waddell?
I was thinking to myself that I should start to pick it up a bit, but he just stuck with me the whole way, so I was getting a bit scared.
Yeah, and then 200 metres to go, he puts in this big surge, and I was like, oh, he's got it. But then it's like 200 metres is a long way to go, and so what were you sort of saying to yourself as you pulled yourself back?
I thought he went a bit early, but yeah, I decided to just try and get him at the end.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, great kick. And you're saying before that you've been doing a fair amount of hills through the winter and getting nice and strong on the hills.
Yeah, the Port Hills a lot. Yeah, every
Cool.
Wednesday actually.
And what's next for you?
I don't know, maybe cross country for secondary schools, nationals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll see you up in Taranaki in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully I'll win.
Yeah. We'll go well and rest up after this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
So, folks, thanks for joining us for those very exciting under-16 girls and boys races taken out by Renee Carey from Tauranga Ramblers and the Waikato Bay of Plenty, and Pi Wynyard from the Papanui Tokach Club in Christchurch. Look forward to joining you again
right, so we're
very
here
shortly for
with
the
the winner of
senior
the women's under 16. So congratulations, and how did it go out there today?
It was pretty good. It was really tough running against the wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really fun course.
Yeah, so I imagine when you first turned up here, you're like nice and still. This is going to be a run in the park, no wind to deal with, and then just this afternoon it's really picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you were out solo most of the time, so you basically led from the start to the finish. Am I right, or did I miss?
No, yeah.
Yeah. So, and was that kind of the tactic to go in, start reasonably hard?
Well, I didn't really have like a tactic for this race, but I went off with the boys, and I was like, this is a pretty fast pace, so I probably should slow down a little bit. But yeah.
Well, it put you in a good place. And how was it with the boys? Did it help to sort of use them to cue off?
Yeah, it was really good to try and beat them. But they kind of got in the way a little bit because they don't really move for you, but it's fine. It's cross country.
Yeah. Any of your club mates that you managed to pass in the last few stages that you can rub it into?
Yeah. Well, I'm the only one from my club up here, so yeah. But yeah.
Representing the Ramblers. Cool.
Yeah.
And so what's next on the cards for you? Are you targeting national secondary schools in a few weeks?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what age group will you be there, junior?
I'm year 9, so junior.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done for a great run out there in the wind.
Thank you.
Safe travels back home. We'll see you at national secondaries.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks heaps for that.
community. What a fantastic exhibition of junior running there from our emerging athletes. Congratulations there to Renee Carey from Tauranga Ramblers and the Waikato Bay of Plenty taking out the under-16 girls, and Pi Wynyard from Pap Tokach and Christchurch taking out the under-16 boys. See you back shortly for the senior men's and women's 10,000 metres.